Hi all, this is Simona Rich. I hope it will record well. I bought new earphones. I cannot buy anything better here in Nepal because it's lockdown and no public transport, so I can't go to the main city, and I don't even know if I can find microphone there, but that's the best that I could find. This earphone has noise cancelling quality, so maybe it will be better. Let me know. In this video, I'm going to read out again another set of quotes from Nisargadatta Maharaj. Starting from this one, the way to truth lies through the destruction of the false. The way to truth lies through the destruction of the false. To destroy the false, you must question your most inveterate beliefs. Of these, the idea that you are the body is the worst. With the body comes the world. With the world, God, who is supposed to have created the world, and thus it starts. Fears, religions, prayers, sacrifices, all sorts of systems, all to protect and support the child man, frightened out of his wits by monsters of his own making. Realize that what you are cannot be born or die, and with the fear gone, all suffering ends. And it's indeed such a relief to understand that you are not the body in the world that is separate from you, but the body and the world are in you. So when you understand that you projected the world into being, and you're not this body that you're now identified with, then fears disappear because you know that all of the world is part of you, so you no longer have fears because you know that the world is not separate from you. The questioner is doubting that he or she is consciousness in which all happens, which is very usual. And here's the answer of Maharaj. Even your body is full of events which do not appear in your consciousness. This does not prevent you from claiming your body to be your own. You know the world exactly as you know the body through your senses. It is your mind that has separated the world outside your skin from the world inside and put them in opposition. This created fear and hatred and all the miseries of living. Because I guess the questioner was asking, how, if I'm the creator of everything, how come I don't know the whole world? And Maharaj is telling, well, you don't even know the processes of your body, yet you claim that your body is your own. This is such a great answer. And he again says here that the mind separated us from the world, imprisoned us in the body, and according to researchers like David Icke or writers like Carlos Castaneda, it's the oppressors that gave us their minds, and that's why we fear everything. We scan the environment for potential threats because this is not actually our mind, it's their mind given to us for our enslavement. So if you're led by fear, your mind is in control, the mind given by oppressors, and you cannot feel happy or free. Question. If my true being is always with me, how is it that I'm ignorant of it? Answer. Because it's very subtle and your mind is gross, full of gross thoughts and feelings. Calm and clarify your mind and you will know yourself as you are, because the mind always focuses on that which is obvious, but if we stay in silence, then we understand our true nature. You already have all the experience you need. Otherwise, you would not have come here. You need not gather anymore. Rather, you must go beyond the experience. Whatever effort you make, whatever method sadhana you follow, will merely generate more experience but will not take you beyond. Nor will reading books help you. They will enrich your mind, but the person you are will remain intact. If you expect any benefits from your search, intact. If you expect any benefits from your search, material, mental, or spiritual, you have missed the point. Truth gives no advantage. Truth gives no advantage. Most people search for truth because they think that they will benefit in some way. He says, truth gives no advantage. It gives you no higher status, no power over others. All you get is truth and the freedom from the false. And most people seek for enlightenment for some reason to enhance the ego, like to become powerful. But actually the truth is that you just know who you really are, but you are like always where. Renunciation of the false is liberating and energizing. It lays open the road to perfection. I made milk, masala milk. Here you can see the sites of Nepal, Kathmandu, Patan, Bhaktapur. I like Bhaktapur. It's a very beautiful town. I bought it in a bookshop. Self-interest and self-concern are the focal points of the false. Self-interest and self-concern are the focal points of the false, because the false always tries to survive because it knows that it knows it will die. So it always tries to strengthen itself. Your daily life vibrates between desire and fear. Watch it intently and you will see how the mind assumes innumerable names and shapes like a river foaming between boulders. Trace every action to its selfish motive and look at the motive till it dissolves, because Maharaj explains, and other meditators and liberated people, that if the attention itself will liberate you, just if you have any negative quality, just observe it. And this attention is pure love. It dissolves that which is false. You need not earn for yourself, but you may have to. For a woman and a child, you may have to keep on working for the sake of others. Even just to keep alive can be a sacrifice. There is no need whatsoever to be selfish. Discard every self-seeking motive as soon as it's seen, and you need not search for truth. Truth will find you. And again, this comes down to the mind that we were given, because it's not our mind. And for example, David Icke explains, and people think he's he's controlled opposition, but I watched recent videos of him and I don't think he is. So he explains that our minds are given by our oppressors, and they always fear that soon they will be found out and their food, which is the energy of human beings, will be denied. So they always have that fear that the food supply will be denied, and that's where our fears come from. It could be all well with our life, and in most cases we are completely well on a daily basis, yet the minds are always uneasy and fearful because it's not our minds, it's given by our oppressors. So when we don't identify with that, then we are no longer in oppression, imprisoned by that mind. This is a questioner saying, there is a minimum of needs, like we need to earn money, for example, to survive. And he says, were they not supplied since you were conceived? Give up the bondage of self-concern and be... Give up the bondage of self-concern and be what you are, intelligence and love in action. And he also explains that body itself will take care of its needs. It will happen naturally. You don't need to worry about it. But one must survive, the questioner says. And he answers, you can't help surviving. The real you is timeless and beyond birth and death, and the body will survive as long as it's needed. He says that destiny cannot be changed, that you will do what you were supposed to do. So if the body is supposed to live till some age, well, this will happen whether you worry about it or not. It's not important that it should live long. A full life is better than a long life. You need some food, clothing, and shelter for you and yours. But this will not create problems as long as greed is not taken for a need. Live in tune with things as they are and not as they are imagined. And some people, they mean well, but like some readers, they suggest me how to, profit more from my blog. And that's greed. I have more than I need. I have enough. I have what I need. Why should I think of other schemes to make money and so forth? That's greed. That's what people do. They are never satisfied with what they have, but they are thinking of ways to have more. And this creates misery. But if you're just, if you meet your needs and you don't exert yourself further, you can enjoy your life and relax into being. And then life becomes full, meaningful. But if all the focus is on earning more, this produces unhappiness because the person operates from the greed mindset. It is not at all difficult, but detachment is needed. It is the clinging to the false that makes the true so difficult to see. It's not at all difficult, but detachment is needed. It is the clinging to the false that makes the true so difficult to see. Once you understand that the false needs time and what needs time is false, you are nearer to reality, which is timeless, ever in the now. And I guess he told that because some people think that it takes time to become enlightened. You have to do this, you have to practice that. But actually, he said he's telling that what takes time is of the false, because who you are doesn't belong to time, and you can now change your mind. You can now go beyond it and understand that you are not the doer. You are not this body. You are not living in the world. But you're beyond that, you're just watching it. So this is just a change of perspective. You're no longer body in the world, but you know that the body and the world is in you. So it doesn't take time. It's just a shift of focus. Don't I need a lot of experience before I can reach such a high level of awareness? He answered. Experience leaves only memories behind and adds to the burden, which is heavy enough. You need no more experiences. The past ones are sufficient. Like when people keep reading books and they already know what they need to know to liberate themselves, but it became like comfort and habit, and it's the mind that is involved. It just consumes and consumes and consumes and consumes. So it has to be put a stop. And for example, I also before read books, but then it was enough and I stopped reading. And this is the first spiritual book I'm reading after a long time, and I just love. I don't read it just for information. I already know these things because I read it several times before, but it inspires me. It makes me happy, and it makes me always aware that I should shift the perspective that I'm not the body. And it comes a time when you no longer need all this information. You already know everything, but unfortunately Some people become addicted to information consumption, although they don't need it anymore. And if you feel you need more, look into the hearts of people around you. You will find a variety of experiences which you would not be able to go through in 1,000 years. Learn from the sorrows of others and save yourself your own. It's not experience you need, but freedom from all experience. The old grooves must be erased in your brain without forming new ones. You must realize yourself as the immovable behind and beyond the movable, the silent witness of all that happens. So this was his strategy to get enlightened. He just kept coming back to this thought that he is beyond the experience. And finally that attention permanently shifted to the fact that he's not the body in the world, he's beyond that. So he often advises people to do that, to remind themselves that they are not these bodies in the world, but they are beyond. Does it mean that I must give up all idea of an active life? Not at all. There will be marriage, there will be children, there will be earning money to maintain a family. All this will happen in the natural course of events, for destiny must fulfill itself. You will go through it without resistance, facing tasks as they come, attentive and thorough, both in small things and big, but the general attitude will be of affectionate detachment, enormous goodwill without expectation of return, constant giving without asking, so not being attached to the results of your work. And that produces happiness when you stop trying to work for the sake of gains, but you're doing the work just because you are supposed to, because it just comes from you. Then you reach the stage where you just work from love and you don't care how you will be perceived, what response you will get. You just can completely express yourself. The seeker is he who is in search of himself. Soon he discovers that his own body he cannot be. Once the conviction I am not the body becomes so well grounded that he can no longer feel, think and act for and on behalf of the body, he will easily discover that he is the universal being, knowing, acting, that in him and through him the entire universe is real, conscious and active. And if people keep being identified with their bodies, their actions are small, their ideas are small, their opinions are small, but then you go beyond it and you totally expand. This is my favorite drink in the morning, masala milk. I don't drink tea or coffee because of the caffeine, so I just boil milk with the masala mix for chai. It's the best. It is so completely beyond my urgent needs, what Maharaj says. When I ask for bread, you are giving me jewels. They are beautiful, no doubt, but I am hungry. And this is the answer. It is not so. I am offering you exactly what you need. Awakening. You are not hungry and you need no bread. You need cessation, relinquishing, disentanglement. What you believe you need is not what you need. Your real need, I know, not you. You need to return to the state in which I am, your natural state. Anything else you may think of is an illusion and an obstacle. Believe me, you need nothing except to be what you are. You imagine you will increase your value by acquisition. It is like gold, imagining that an addition of copper will improve it. Elimination and purification Renunciation of all that is foreign to your nature is enough. All else is vanity. I guess we should stop here. It's now 20 minutes. So I will probably read these quotes again. I made so many notes. I just love the way that Maharaj explains what he's experiencing, his state of being, and how he frees other humans. It's just beautiful. It's always new. He doesn't repeat himself. He always gives new ways of approaching that subject of enlightenment. I love this book. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Take care.